So whenever I purchase a game, I almost always try to pick something that gets me the most out of my money. The way I do this is I usually buy games that are both on sale and are something I can see myself dumping a decent amount of hours into, finding that perfect balance between spending little money but getting a lot of time out of the product. Now, have I developed this mindset because I'm a cheapskate? Maybe a little, but also to be fair, some games out there have absolutely spoiled and conditioned me to look for this balance because of how much value I've gotten out of them. Most recently, probably not at the time of uploading this video, but definitely at the time of recording, I've been obsessed with this game called Look Outside. This is a game that's base price is $10, though I got it for $8, and is something I've spent dozens of hours in. Less recently, for a while now, I've been trying to get through this game called Persona 4 Golden. While it's comparatively more expensive, being $20, not only did I most likely get it on sale, but it's also a game I'm not anywhere close to being done with despite being nearly 60 hours into it. For the last example, and probably the biggest game that has spoiled me with this mindset, is a little farm simulator called Stardew Valley. According to Steam, I have spent 358 hours on Stardew and it has a base price of only $15. And that's not even to mention my 358 hours are rookie numbers. If you bought this game at $15 and you're someone who has dumped a lot of time into this, let's say 1,500 hours for this example, that means for every hour you've spent on this game, it has cost you only 1 penny to experience it, which is a crazy amount of value to get out of a game. But wrapping back around to where I'm going with this, it's games like this that make me hesitant to buy other shorter games because I'm afraid I won't get enough value out of it. Yet, ironically, a good majority of the games I talk about don't follow this rule. They're games that have a disproportionate amount of money spent on them compared to the amount of hours I have in them. But most of the time, this is because I had another reason to play it. Like my favorite YouTuber might have gotten me interested in it, or I've played games from the studio before and trust them to make something amazing, or I found it on a deep discount and thought, why not? And it could be any reason, it's not limited just to these three. However, for some reason, there has been one game that had always been on my radar, but I never made an exception for until now, and it's a game called A Short Hike. Now, I don't know why exactly I stayed away from this game for so long, maybe because the word short being in the name made me freak out and I thought I wouldn't get any value out of it, but at the same time, I never really had a reason to go out of my way and buy it. I never saw a YouTuber I recognized play it, I never heard of previous works from the creator, and it never went on a big enough sale for me to warrant buying it. But after it sat on my wish list for literal years, I thought it was time to make the exception. And yeah, after buying it, I didn't put many hours into it. That was expected. But in the end, after costing me $4.79, I spent 4.7 hours in it, about $1 per hour. Now, am I complaining that I wasn't able to dump 1,500 hours into this game? Absolutely not. Because it's time and time again when I play a game like A Short Hike that I'm reminded how flawed of a mindset I can have when it comes to purchasing games. Despite only spending 4.7 hours in this game, that is 4.7 hours I spent smiling like a little kid because of how much I unexpectedly enjoyed it. Well, maybe it was closer to 4 hours of smiling because there was one segment that made me unreasonably frustrated, but other than that, this was such a pleasant surprise. Made by developer Adam Robinson Yu, A Short Hike is a delicately crafted and beautifully touching game about hiking up a mountain. Taking place in this pseudo-pixelated island, you play as a young bird named Claire, who over the summer spends time with her Auntie May after her mother takes her here. The reason she's taken all the way out here is to get away from the bustling city and to distract her from something else that's going on in her life. However, this something else, which I don't want to spoil because of how meaningful it is to the story when you figure out what it is, worries her so much that she can't help but try to call her mother about it, who is back in the city. The problem is, there is no reception on this island except for one place, Hawk Peak, the tallest part of the island being the summit of this mountain which you have to climb to get to. So getting Claire all the way up this mountain to call her mom is your main objective. But as you hike up Hawk Peak, you meet a collection of really friendly characters who are a massive part of the game's charm. Not only are they all different, ranging from all kinds of animals with varying personalities, but they're also really nice. The majority of them anyway. But a lot of them help you and encourage you up the mountain, or give you side quests with rewards, or are just nice to talk to. But the atmosphere is so nice and relaxed that it's amazing that it even has the ability to hook me in as much as it does without having the standard archetypes of a story. Like it's a cozy game, and what most cozy games do best is create something that's interesting with little to no conflict involved. There's no villain or opposing force against the protagonist. I mean, there's one I can think of, but other than that, not really. It's actually quite the opposite with how childlike and whimsical it may be at times. Childlike in the sense that you're playing as a young girl who is allowed to run wild and get lost in the environment with no restraints. That level of pure freedom you can only really have as a kid. And the music really enhances this exploration too, especially as you ascend. As a whole, the music is amazing. It's what you've been listening to this entire video. But one of the things I love about it most is as you get higher in elevation, the music shifts to accompany the area you're in. And with how soothing the music can be at times, it also further cements again how conflict-free this game is. I guess the conflict could just be the mountain itself and the physical obstacles it may have, though they're easy enough to get over with the inclusion of this game's other mechanic, being these golden feathers. The main way you progress up the mountain is by finding these golden feathers that act as a stamina system to climb and fly better. They're found with those who help you or just naturally scattered about. With the addition of these feathers, it adds a sort of parkour aspect to the journey, but even then, I wouldn't really consider this game anything like a platformer despite that. At least not in the traditional Mario sense of jumping over lava pits and doing backflips. You can challenge yourself to utilize these feathers in these races, and I'm sure there are speedrunners that have mastered this movement in ridiculous ways, but as I've mentioned before, the general focus is the cozy aspect. I think the best way to describe the vibe with this mix of parkour and relaxation is it's kind of a cross between Mario 64 and Animal Crossing, though it's definitely leaning more towards Animal Crossing. Even similar to Animal Crossing, other than the lovely animals you'll talk to, there's a bunch of other common pastimes like fishing for all the diverse species to fill out your journal, solving old riddles to find buried treasures, exploring the entire island and uncovering any secrets it may hold, growing plants to make for a more pretty floral environment, boating around the ocean waters, desecrating graves, eating toast, and more. There's also less common pastimes that are extremely intense, Dark Souls level difficulty, but again, that's probably just me. Besides that, that's all I can really say about a short hike because, well, it's short, and I want more people to play it and see it for themselves because it's worth it. And it may not fit the price and time spent philosophy I have when purchasing most games, but that's also because I forgot the most important thing to take into account, and that's fun. There are plenty of games that are completely free that I can dump hundreds of hours into them but would feel absolutely miserable. The number one thing I can think of as an example are idle games. I can spend countless hours on a free idle game and still feel scammed somehow. That doesn't matter how much time or money I spend on it, I wouldn't value it very highly. Because if it's not fun, why bother? And a short hike is really fun, and that's not something that needs to have a monetary value attached to it. I'm glad to have spent the $4.79 and would have been more than happy to spend the full $8 because it is worth every penny. Because this is valuable.